Atanius? Atanius? I think it's Atanius, I think. Okay, we're gonna go with, let's go with d4, d5. We're gonna go with the Queen's Gambit with c4, e6, knight c3. Hey, and also Chiswick, Chiz1UK, thanks a lot for the follow. Alright, we're going with e4. This is a gambit line if he plays, if he knows the idea, it's a gambit line here. He should take, okay, so he doesn't know the gambit version, I guess. And Coach for Man, thanks a lot for the follow, guys. Really appreciate it. Hope you're enjoying. Okay, plays bishop b4, not a bad move. I think we're just gonna push the pawn though. See what he does. Alright, we're gonna just develop the knight. Looks like a French defense a little bit, I suppose. Bishop d3. We have a hidden threat of bishop takes h7 now. Okay, he blocks it with the knight, that's reasonable. I'm going to go ahead and just play h4, just to attack on the king's side. h5, misplace his knight is the idea. h5, h6, just to kind of attack on the king's side there. Okay, h6 makes some sense. Let's go h5. He'll go back to e7, I assume. Oh, h8. Okay, so this can't be very good for black. That's a fianchettoed weird square for the knight there. That's not even fianchettoed. He has to push the pawn. Going back to e7 would be much better. Now, if I could just line up my bishop and queen on this diagonal and threaten queen h7 checkmate, we'd be pretty good. He'd have to block with one of these two pawns and create weaknesses. Another idea I'm thinking about here is simply rook h3 to g3, and his king is under a lot of fire. I think we're going to go with this one first. Rook h3, rook g3, and then bishop takes h6 is the move. Okay, b5 is just kind of a useless move at this point. I don't really want to even open up the center at all. There's really not even any point in capturing. I could just play rook h6. He takes, I take. I think we're just going to push the pawn, though. Let's just keep everything closed up. I don't see any reason to mess around here. You're right, bishop h7 would also be mate. That's true. I could play just queen c2 and bishop h7. I think I'm going to do this first, though. If I play queen c2, he plays f5. It's still a very good idea, actually. Let's go rook g3. You know what? I like your idea. Let's go queen c2. Yeah, let's try that one. I'm hoping... Okay. I'm not assuming he's going to miss the checkmate. I wish he had played f5 or something different to guard against it. But yeah, your idea works out perfectly there. That's a that's a cool-looking checkmate. We got a king trapped on g8. Okay. Anyways, we'll analyze it for a brief time here. So the idea with this move here, e4, this e4 move is actually a pawn sacrifice line. The idea is that black is supposed to take, I take back, then he plays check. I block with the bishop, he takes the pawn, I take the bishop, he takes the knight, I block with the bishop, I get two bishops, I get the two bishops, I'm down a pawn. This is the gambit line here. But I guess he doesn't know this line. He played bishop b4 first. Not a bad move, I guess, but I just push and makes more space in the center. Knight e7, knight f3. Yeah, tactics against the 1200s, yeah. I sometimes wish it wasn't... I pretty much telegraph it. I mean, queen c2, he knows what the threat is. I wish he had guarded it, honestly. I don't... a win's a win, whatever. Bishop d3. Like I said, the idea here was to play bishop takes h7. Let's say he plays b6. Take, check, here, and I'm going to probably get checkmate at some point. Something like that, or... It's not exactly checkmate, but I would definitely prefer white in this position. I could even just do h4, h5, h6, and probably checkmate like that. Anyway, so he guarded against that, though. He played knight g6, h4, h6 here. He needs to play knight e7. Obviously, as we saw, the knight on h8 was terrible. Knight h8, though. like you said, I could have I could have played queen c2 immediately. I was assuming he's going to play f5. Assuming, obviously he didn't. At this point, I would have played like rook h3 and then here, or I could have taken and then played rook h3 in here. But I played rook h3 first, b5, c5 here, queen c2. Assuming this move, I would have played this, threatening bishop takes h6. He'd probably have to move the king somewhere. And then I would have figured out what to do from here. Probably some kind of knight maneuver. Or maybe I just capture this and then do it. Something like this. White's much better, without question. Knight e5 even next move is probably... Actually, knight e5 threatens mate again. Yeah, I guess he doesn't know the threat. I guess not. So if you make threats and your opponent doesn't see them, that's the easiest way to win, I suppose. Anyway, so he definitely messed up big time by letting me just checkmate with bishop h7. So I guess we'll move on to the next one. And what are we up to? 12, 28? All right, well...